Welcome to the mind of a Renaissance man. Don't forget to subscribe below. If you have worked your way to the top, why not share your secrets with others so they can do the same? The answer, it turns out, might be that successful people are actually hiding from others, and in fact, this could be one of the reasons they have achieved their success. Here's how it works. Hiding isn't always bad, it can be necessary. So, why is it that so many successful people are hiding away from their network of contacts, colleagues, and friends? The main reason is that they have already achieved what they wanted to achieve. They have won their battle and moved on to fight another day. This shouldn't surprise us too much, as humans tend to move on to new challenges once a goal has been reached. It could be getting fit, earning enough money, or losing weight. Once you've reached your goal, all you're left with is keeping up appearances, and if you're a natural introvert like many top entrepreneurs, then you'll probably want some time alone at some point. But when we're talking about how to become successful, isn't that counterproductive? Surely, you need help and support to win. Well, yes and no. Many people mistakenly believe that being an entrepreneur means constantly being surrounded by other business owners who can help grow your business faster than you can by yourself. That's true in theory, but not necessarily in practice. Some of today's most successful business leaders choose not to hang out with other entrepreneurs unless necessary. In fact, many will avoid them altogether. I know that sounds crazy, but think about it for a second. If you hang out only with other successful business owners, then there's no way for either one of you to get ahead. You both know each other's secrets and tricks. You both understand how hard each of you works. You both realize that neither one of you is going to give any ground because you're both just as competitive as each other. Do you see where I'm going with this? Hanging out with successful business owners becomes more competitive than productive, which is why so many prefer to spend their time hanging out with non-entrepreneurs instead, because they don't understand just how hard it really is to build a real business. Reason 1: to protect themselves. Some people fear that if they allow themselves to become too well-known, they'll open themselves up to criticism and threats. The more widely known you are, the more vulnerable you are, which is why some celebrities go so far as to change their appearance or give fake names when going out in public. Successful entrepreneurs understand that it's better to be safe than sorry. Protecting your privacy is a necessity for survival at a high level of success, so don't be ashamed of it. You should even protect your family members. If someone knows where your family lives, it puts them in jeopardy. You need to keep yourself safe and your loved ones protected at all costs. Reason 2: to maintain control. There's nothing worse than feeling like you have no control over your life. Most successful people feel like they have no choice but to maintain control over everything that happens around them. This can lead to paranoia, but being aware of what goes on around you isn't always a bad thing. For example, many CEOs refuse to let anyone know where they live because they want to make sure nobody can find them easily in case something terrible happens, like an emergency. They also tend not to share personal information with anyone because there's no reason why anyone else needs it. After all, there are plenty of other ways for someone to get hold of your information without having direct access to it through social media or email. Reason 2: to protect others. When you are having a rough day, keeping it to yourself protects those around you who might get emotionally pulled into your struggles. When they don't know what's going on, they can focus on their own lives and not worry about yours. You may be wondering why anyone would care if you have a bad day or not. Some might, some won't. This is one of those things that comes down to personal preference. We all have our own preferences and standards for how much time we want to spend with someone else during difficult times. If someone isn't willing to invest in your problems, that's okay. There will always be someone who will take an interest in what you're going through. If no one seems interested in hearing about it when you need them most, Then find ways to help yourself instead of looking outward for support. Sometimes focusing on something other than your problems helps more than talking them out with another person ever could. It gives you something productive to do while also giving you an outlet for emotions that otherwise wouldn't have anywhere to go. A lot of us feel like we should share everything with everyone because sharing makes us feel closer to people, but sometimes being honest means protecting those around you by not burdening them with your problems. The truth is that there's nothing wrong with keeping quiet once in a while. In fact, there's often value in doing so. Don't be afraid to protect others by putting up walls every now and again. It doesn't mean you're cold-hearted or uncaring. It just means you're human. Most people aren't going to understand why you didn't open up to them, anyway. They'll just assume that it was because you didn't trust them enough to tell them. Most of us believe we deserve honesty from others simply because honesty feels good when given and received. We think everyone should be trustworthy and that withholding information is inherently selfish, but these are unreasonable expectations based on feelings rather than facts. People deserve respect whether they share their problems with you or not. Many choose not to open up simply because they know you'll try to fix their problem, even though trying isn't possible. Be mindful of why others might keep secrets, too. Just as there are reasons why successful people hide from others, there are reasons why other people keep secrets as well. Reason 3: to stay focused. For an entrepreneur, keeping your mind on your work is one of your biggest challenges. One of the most difficult things about being an entrepreneur is that everything is always important. And in business, priorities are set by deadlines and results, but unfortunately, your life doesn't operate on a calendar or clock. So how can you focus when everything has to be done yesterday and you have too much on your plate already? The answer lies in dividing and conquering. Success depends on having good organizational habits so that you can concentrate only on what matters at any given time. That way you'll be able to create priorities and stay focused no matter how hectic things get around you. Successful entrepreneurs find ways to deal with pressure, both internal and external. They learn how to handle themselves well under pressure because they know it's going to happen at some point along their journey. You need a system for dealing with stress if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur. Whether it's meditation, exercise, or talking with friends and family, make sure you're doing something productive instead of just letting stress build up inside you without doing anything about it. Successful entrepreneurs don't let their emotions get out of control. When stress does come up for them, and it will, they've learned how to manage those feelings effectively instead of letting them consume them. Your ability to cope with stress directly impacts your performance as an entrepreneur. If you can keep yourself calm and collected, then you'll be able to better prioritize tasks and complete them more efficiently. If you have trouble coping with stress, then try finding activities that help relieve your tension before it gets too bad. Some great options include taking a walk outside or reading a book before bedtime. Being comfortable with who you mean not trying to be someone else. It means knowing yourself well enough to understand what makes you tick and why. It means recognizing when other people put expectations on us that we shouldn't necessarily meet. But most importantly, it means accepting our strengths and weaknesses so we can stop fighting ourselves internally about who we think we should be versus who we really are. The takeaway. Successful people are often demonized for their success by those who envy them. Unsuccessful, wannabe entrepreneurs tend to think of their professional idols as selfish or greedy. On a deeper level, maybe it's fear that keeps these high achievers away from their peers. Maybe they know that if they spent time with other successful folks, they'd be even more inspired to kick ass and keep ahead of everyone else. Maybe they aren't afraid of hard work. Maybe they're just afraid of losing sight of why they work so hard in the first place. It isn't necessarily about money. It's about being able to live life on your own terms, free from distraction and judgmental eyes. The fact is, you can't get there alone. You need help. You need support. You need friends who will cheer you on instead of dragging you down. But when you're at the top, surrounded by your peers, it can be easy to forget what got you there in the first place: dedication and hard work. Things that don't care where you went to school or how much money you make. Things that only care about whether or not you're willing to put in whatever it takes. So next time someone tells me I'm lucky, I'll smile politely and tell them they have no idea what I've had to go through to get here, and then I'll go home and celebrate my success all alone.